these speeds as he's the meat in the sandwich getting bopped around
There
and
it
he
goes.
crashes.
Oh no, big trouble.
Yeah, we talked about a couple of slides, or maybe 3, it's going to eventually go wrong, and it finally did.
He was very loose, very loose. Well, this is definitely not the day he was looking for, but, and sometimes this is how you learn.
Yeah, I'm fine. While we're doing that lap.
And he got one bobble, saved it, another bobble, and the car's just really light for him right now, and he just lost it.
You got to tip your cap to Suarez. He saw the issues that Cindric was having. He flared up, gave him plenty of room, but Austin just couldn't keep his car going straight. And Brad, he said on the radio, I don't really know what I could have done there. What advice would you give your quasi teammate about what he could have done differently?
Well, at this point, you know you're struggling. There's not a lot you're going to do other than just lift and give up spots and try to get it into the pit road and survive another lap. And hopefully catch a break to work on your car.
You know, a lot of times, Adam, when you're loose like that, you get tense and you start over driving the car because you're so anticipating it's going to spin out on you, and that adds to your problems.
I've often said you got to be strong mentally to be successful at this style of racing. I go back to last year when he was competing for you, involved in an early crash in the truck race. His only experience here, does that weigh on his mind at all?
Oh, that's definitely weighs on your mind. And this type of racing, look, it's tough. It's really tough. You know, you want to trim your car out to be as fast as it can be. And sometimes when you do that, they make them hard to drive. He had a great qualifying effort, you know, up in the top.
Spin.
Wow, what a save. Oh, but now
Cole Custer into the wall. Caution is out.
Oh, this is going to tear up some good cars, too.
Daniel Hemrick, the pole sitter. Spencer Boyd is there.
I'll tell you, the 76 car, Boyd, he never quit driving, Brad. He was fighting that thing through the traffic, did a nice job of coming out the other side. I don't think there's much damage to the 76 car. Same with Joey Gase. They were tied up in the wreck, but they just fought their way through it.
This could have been a lot worse than it was. This is actually not a bad wreck. When the 11 got down on the apron, it looked like he was going to hook and come up and wipe a bunch out. But these guys
at the back of the pack, that'll be exciting. Let's see what happens to Ryan Truex. Probably gets pushed out of line.
Oh, he gets blocked late by the 16 of Ryan Reed. Definitely makes contact, pushes him underneath the yellow line. Now he's just trying to save it the best he can. That shows you how important the banking is, Michael, because without the banking, these cars will not keep the grip. And he slid right off the flat onto the banking. Did a great job saving it, too.
Didn't look like there was much damage when he came back across the transition.
Watch these cars. There goes Custer.
Yeah, Jeff Green was the black and yellow 38 that came through there.
Look at the 76 on the low side. Just fighting it, fighting it. Gets on the high side of Hemrick. Not a lot of damage.
35 of Joey Gase, and the 86, that white and aqua car, that's Brandon Brown, who somehow drove through.
Oh, on board with Ryan. This is going to be great. Oh, my goodness. You see he made contact with the 16, trying to miss him.
Easy here, easy. You're good right here. You're good. You're wrecking up top, Watch the 0 coming down.
We learned the rule last weekend in the Clash. If you
patent tunnel, they used
problems for Garrett Smithley.
For Smithley, and
Michael
also
Annette, too.
Annette, great driving by the field to stay off of Annette.
What'd you say, Michael? We weren't done with the caution flag yet today?
And I'm going to go, I hate to say this, Adam, but we're still not. I mean, they're just going to keep battling, pushing, shoving, trying to get anything they can.
And, you know, this is actually bad news for Chase Elliott and for Elliott Sadler. They needed all the laps they can get to go up to the front. We're at 14 laps to go. By the time we go back green, we'll be inside of 10. They need these laps.
Well, luckily it's spinners and they can.
And Ryan Truex, who, of course, went below that double yellow line. He's up in the top 15. On board with him here to take a look at what brought out our 6th caution of the day.
Truex exited turn 4.
Truex was trying to get in the hole. Maybe it wasn't quite there. Right there, just trying to squeeze over. Smithley shut the door on him. Just what you're going to see now, huh, Brad?
Towards the end of the race, you're just going to get more aggressive on the blocks. And I don't think Garrett was expecting Ryan to fill that hole. There wasn't much of a hole there. So he'll probably be a little frustrated with that one for sure.
And look what happens to the 5 of Michael Annette. He gets a shove.
You see Brandon Jones right behind Annette working the wheel in the 19. That was a nice job of driving.
You see, as the grass was going underneath the 5 car, Michael Annett right here, watch as it catches on the splitter and just rips it right off. Amazing how these cars will react to this grass and infield section.
Look at those camera shots.
And right about here, it's going to rip off right in this grass. Oh,
so close to being able to survive that big slide. He's together, yes.
Another caution going to come out here, I do believe. That's the 0-1. Nope, he keeps it straight, and I think we're going to stay green.
The caution
Nope, there it
flies.
is. Whew. So close for the 0-1 of Vinnie Miller.
Yeah, that's just going to be tough for these guys to find enough room to keep from running over each other.
I think as NASCAR, you got to be real careful, too. When someone goes sideways on a restart, and likely some debris on track because of the damage on the right front for the 0-1.
Yeah, this is definitely another setback for the 88 and the 1 car, who are just desperately trying to get some track position and get back up there from that penalty earlier on. But yeah, here's a big precinct.
7-8 laps to go when we get the restart.
I think Josh Williams I saw was a part, maybe.
Yep, that's him in the bright orange car.
Yeah, and he was getting pushed from behind. I think it maybe veered him over to the left a little bit.
The 2 of Matt Tift right behind him.
Those cars got together, and Vinnie Miller wound up with the short end of the stick. Solid run for Miller. Competitive.
You're just not expecting to be 4 wide, are you, this right after the restart?
Brad, you talked about Joey and those guys in the back. People are just frustrated with.
Look at Allgaier getting drop kicked.
Oh no, there they go.
Spinner into the wall, Almirola. Larson out of shape. So is Chase Elliott. And the caution is out again.
Wow, we made it so far, Michael, but we just couldn't keep this up. Oh, they're still hitting.
When we got the green flag, there were 32 cars on the lead lap. You knew there was a potential of this, and now we'll have a second overtime restart here at Daytona.
And Daniel Suarez comes out the survivor. Ryan Reed second right now. That's huge.
See all the damage.
Just a
Here's
big
what happened.
push here from Chase Elliott to Eric Almirola. Kyle Larson goes up to block it, but he just can't sustain it. They're not up to speed. The cars aren't set in the rear, and it just huge spin, as you can tell. Looked like Chase at the very end got a push from Daniel, which actually turned him sideways. You can see they're only at 180 mile an hour, so the cars aren't at full speed right now. They're not set down in the racetrack. That makes them really easy to spin. We'd seen contact like this earlier in the race, but at this speed, the rear heights in the car aren't set. They're not down in the racetrack. They don't have the downforce. They're way more susceptible to spinning with that contact.
Did you see some of those guys slipping through that wreck? There goes Alex Labbe from Canada. He made it through. And then just the job Spencer Gallagher did to squeeze through.
3 to right front. 4 looking outside. Spin down low, spin both sides, stay middle, stay middle, stay middle, stay middle.
How eventful has the day been for Ryan Truex in that 11?
This will tell the tale here.
So it looks to me like from this view that Kyle Larson just didn't quite get high enough on Eric Almirola. He was trying to maybe protect the inside a little bit, and the push wasn't quite as square as he needed, again, with the car not at full speed.
You can see Joey Logano into the outside wall. There's Joe Nemechek in the 15 Johnny Davis car. Wow, look, the track's blocked.
And Chase Elliott was going to come through clear, but right at the last second, he gets hit by the 18. Look at the car try to come off the ground. The roof flaps engaged, uses the aerodynamics to put it back down on the ground. Chase actually drives away from this in decent standing.
Pretty clean start to the race. Stages 1 and 2, fairly uneventful.